you.
Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Farrow, our attorney, Mr. Gwinnett, building and zoning officer, Mr. Drollet, dog control officer, Mr. Tatro, superintendent of water and sewer, Ms. Barber, confidential secretary to the board, and Mr. Ryan Prubazet.
And yourself.
And
And
yourself.
myself.
Diane Miller.
Is you official code enforcement?
Okay. First, need a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting June 8th, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mel beat Craig. Craig seconds. Any discussion?
Yeah, you did.
Perfect.
Looks good like always, Diane. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, you did.
5 ayes.
I saw it.
Number 5, resolution discussion to put a stop sign at the intersection of Gala Lane and Washington Street. Mike already placed the post. If you haven't been down the end of the street there, he's already placed the post. We need a stop sign because, of course, from one road to another road, but it can go straight without the stop. We need to put a stop sign coming in from management. So
So that's not gonna be a three-way stop?
nope, it's going to be a straight through because it's one street. It's, you know, continuation of the street. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, good.
I mean, if there's ever an issue, I mean, I don't hopefully ever see one, but if there is, we can always revisit if we had to, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with them coming down the hill than coming the other, going up the hill. But yeah, we'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
I went
And
up
if
there
there
twice.
becomes a problem ever, I mean, if I see that because, you know, the street I live in at the other end, we can always decide to put something there. It's our choice, it's our road.
Street's only long enough for about 2 or 3 cars anyway.
Yeah, so, but, like I said, we can always revisit
Yeah.
an intersection always.
Yep, let's go. Resolution is,
Yep, so I need a motion and a second
I
for
make a
that.
motion.
Correct.
Second.
Jim Douglas. Any discussion, anyone?
Love the name.
Okay, resolution, Diane.
A resolution to erect a stop sign on Gallo Lane at the intersection of Washington Street of the Orchard View subdivision. Whereas the town board desires to erect a stop sign on Gallo Lane at its intersection with Washington Street pursuant to its authority under Vehicle and Traffic Law 1660. It is now resolved in order that the town highway superintendent erect or cause to be erected a stop sign controlling travel on Gallo Lane at its intersection with Washington Street. Be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Your voice of an angel when she disappears like that.
Any more discussion?
Excuse me, Mr. Favreau?
Nothing.
Excuse me?
Okay, roll call.
I'll find out what you said.
Roll
Mr.
call,
Barber?
Diane.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
We are on a roll.
Okay, number 6, resolution discussion, acceptance of Davy Drive water and sewer infrastructure as the town of Peru. Courtney, you have questions on this at all? Matt? Everything look good?
Good review, Courtney?
Yep. So, I need a motion and a second. Jim Douglas? Oh,
Second.
okay, Rick second. Jim Douglas made the motion. Resolution, if anyone wants discussion, we can have it after.
A resolution recommending the acceptance of the Davy Drive water and sewer infrastructure as the town of Cruz and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town of Cruz water and sewer superintendent Courtney Tatro has regularly inspected the build out of the Davy Drive water and sewer infrastructure with a final inspection with AEPA on September 3rd, 2019, and found that it has been built as per the town of Cruz water and sewer department specifications. Therefore, be it resolved that the Davy Drive water and sewer infrastructure be accepted as the town of Peru's, and therefore the town will take over the maintenance of the same. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Discussion? Roll call, Diane?
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Moving right along. Okay.
Already did.
Number 7, resolution discussion approval of AES Northeast annual term agreement. Need a motion and a second for that.
I'll make the motion.
Craig Bruno,
I'll second.
Al Irwin. Any discussion on this?
And,
Okay, resolution again, Diane.
I'm supposed to get stay in here, so. So we're gonna go this way. A resolution approving the town's annual turn agreement for the AES project number 4154 with AES Northeast PLLC for engineering services for the term of June 1, 2020 through May 31, 2021, and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has the short form agreement for the term of June 1, 2020 through May 31, 2021 between the town of Peru and AES Northeast for engineering services for the town before it now. Therefore be it resolved, said proposed agreement is approved and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute said agreement, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Everything went fine?
Yep.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
I think we did say something.
Moving right along. Number 8. This was going to be for Mike. He wanted this on there. Completion inspection on the Pat Road culvert project. Did you leave any message, Pam, about this?
Mark DeCrescente came last, I want to say Wednesday, and did the inspection, and he said everything looked great. Mike is happy with it, so Mark signed off on the final and the third, and then the final, the second and the final requisition. So that's in the bills to be paid tonight for Luck Brothers.
Everything looked fine. Mike was
Yep.
happy. They were happy. Everyone's happy.
Everybody said it was a beautiful job.
Is there any reason why Mike can't be joining us at these meetings?
Like Carol? There was something came up tonight.
Oh, okay.
Right? Pam, he couldn't make it tonight.
I don't know if he knew that everybody was coming now.
Oh,
I think, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I like his smiley face.
We have get to that another discussion too at the end with the public and stuff coming back next meeting in July. Just like what we're doing now. Okay,
Yep.
so everything's good. That was just discussion. That was all that was. Number 9, Bob. Zoning code updates.
So I know, town board, we kind of looked into making some changes to the zoning code that we felt needed to be changed. Specifically with this, one of the items that was important was the sign, the sign ordinance. I remember Kevin Sushia spoke to you folks and just inquired that we should kind of follow steps that other towns do. And he said it's kind of troublesome for him to wait the 2 months to get a approval for a sign permit. That's one item. Obviously, it's COVID-19 set us all back. But there's a few other things that we wanted to get addressed. From accessory structures, I know Matt and we had an issue with that. Certainly the solar panel and the solar farm stuff, that should be addressed. And there's a few other things, home-based business and home occupation. In our zoning code, kind of, they're one and the same, but in the land use code table, one's not permitted in where the other is, but it's really the same definition. It's kind of weird. So I guess I'm just inquiring, at what point, when we, for the list that we compiled, that we could start the process of having the public hearings and such, which is required to make amendments to the zoning code. And will it be troublesome because, Matt, I guess it's kind of for you, is it troublesome to make amendments and hold public hearings with the zoning code when we're in such a time where, you know, with, meetings aren't necessarily for the public? But
I mean, the public hearing part of it certainly is a challenge. I don't know where we're going with bringing the public back to meetings.
Right.
And when.
right,
But I think we're going to stay at building capacity issues for a little bit. So,
yeah.
I mean, what we do is basically take whatever section we're going to write, section 7, paragraph A, rewrite it, and then post the current text and the proposed revision. That's the first step, and then we go to the public hearing.
As we spoke before, and I think we all agreed that it wasn't just, it just didn't make any sense to pick one item, hold the public hearing and go through all that process, because we know it takes time. We talked about addressing a few items that are of importance and then going that way, and I think we're all still in that agreement, but do you want me to draft something together and send it out to everybody and say, okay, and
I
then,
think what we should do is take the sections we want to rewrite,
okay,
draft those,
Get them ready.
get them ready,
yep,
have discussions probably with this board, the zoning board, the planning board, make sure all three boards are comfortable with
Okay.
the
okay,
theory and the verbiage, and then we can figure out where we are in the public hearing processing. But at least once we get drafted, it's not going to change, and then
Right.
we can do the next steps when we're able to.
okay.
I mean, we were getting pretty close on the solar part.
Yeah, of accepting the town class, so,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, we are with the
Yeah,
amendments
yeah,
that
we
we
had
did
a
to
number
it.
of meetings and then, yeah, no.
Is
You're
that
right.
something you feel comfortable in finishing on your own without getting that?
We kind of thought about,
We got the hard parts done, I thought.
pretty much, we just, basically, obviously the zoning districts need to change, because certainly the zoning districts are not representative of ours, but we need to change that, and then the wording with down in Peru where it's required, so yeah, I mean, we're pretty close, and,
And we changed some of the acreage too, didn't we? or something?
yep, yeah, we have
Couple of
some
small
notes
things.
on some of that stuff.
Yeah, are you interested in getting that committee back together again, or you want to try to write it and
Well, we
throw it
should,
out there and see what
we
we
should,
got?
I know, just an update that, the Hamilton project, that's definitely moving forward. I just signed something for NYSERDA,
Really?
so, yeah.
For the 650,000 or back to the,
What's that?
was it back to the 300 or the 600 that they asked more for? Remember, they raised the prices, you had to do the nice thing?
I'm not sure. Craig, the dollar amounts of that, I'm not really sure. But I just know I just signed something that went to the NYSERDA office last week, so I know that's moving forward. But I think, you know, certainly this time, a lot of things are kind of been pushed back, and
Right?
so, but at some point, you know, the Kevin Sushi thing that came up again last week.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd like to at least move forward with some of these items.
Well,
Do you wanna-
we want to get that solar panel back together
That's
at least one more time?
And even if you did the
Just
Zoom,
for an hour?
even if you did the Zoom for that.
Well, they
because
could come here, there was only 5 of us.
Okay, sure, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can. You want to set up a meeting for that?
Yeah, why don't you
I know
go ahead?
Ricky was involved. and
Yeah, me,
Craig.
Ricky, and,
Yeah, we can. Let's do that.
if you can throw an email out to them and see if they can get together one more time, doesn't matter if it's before a meeting or whenever, anything.
That's definitely an important one.
We'll get one more in and try
All
to
right.
finalize that up for it.
Okay.
We were pretty close to it
Yep.
towards the end, I think.
Get that scheduled there, Bob, and then, like Matt was saying, get the other stuff that you would like to change,
Okay,
and then ahead of time.
Right.
And then we
Right.
have to play
So-
it later with, you know.
Matt, should it go to the planning and zoning board first before it goes to the town board, or do you want to, I mean, per discussion?
Yeah, I mean, my thought would be you and I can draft it, and maybe maybe get a couple of members from each board to get together one night and say, this
Okay.
is what we're proposing, what do you guys think, what do you guys think?
Okay,
Make sure it kind of gets everybody's concerns
on
out
the same
there.
page? Okay.
Maybe that, one meeting with a couple reps from each board wouldn't take more than an hour once we get the change
Yeah.
out there.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So if you want to set up a time, you and I can at least figure out what we're going to change and
All right,
start drafting, just let me know.
okay, thank you.
Good job.
Yep,
Thank you, Bob.
all right.
Don't say anything.
Okay. Moving along, number 10, discussion, youth summer fall sports. As we all know, we got a message last week. We can start fall, well, you can have some kind of summer sports and fall sports for sure starting July 3rd, I believe, but it starts July 6th. Yeah, yeah. So I know there's been feelers out, they've sent out on the youth sports Facebook page. Some interest, still some parents are definitely, you know,
Jim and I will have, and anybody that wants to go, we will have a better understanding of what's going on when, you know.
this coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here or at the field?
Here.
Here? What time?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. Wednesday. Is there more interest than there was at the beginning,
No.
or not really?
No.
Okay.
He,
And that's
the way
fine.
he explained it to me the other night was he feels that maybe he'll have enough to field one team in each age class, unless things change that you guys don't let me know about. So that's kind of where we're at. He wants to run it as an in-house league.
Yep.
Are we talking baseball, softball, or soccer?
No, baseball, softball.
4 weeks.
4-week program instead of 8. It's half the season.
Gotcha.
And we just said we don't want to leave any kids out,
Absolutely.
make sure, you know.
There'll be more discussion Wednesday.
We'll know more about it Wednesday.
Perfect.
Also too, is today came across on the chamber, it has all the guidelines for the sports starting July 6th, the youth sports. Because they have this chamber dose and it's got mandatory and recommended. It was 26 pages because I printed it off, just anything that pertained to the town,
Yeah.
I did that. And it's all laid out and it was medium contact,
I
right?
thought it was medium contact according to
I mean, I can pull it up and copy it after the meeting on
Okay.
exactly,
Well, I have the-
right, yeah, oh, yeah, we can just recopy it, because I made a copy
I love the
there.
chamber dose.
Excuse me?
I love the chamber dose.
Well, I've read it every day,
Me too.
you know, so
Do a good job.
it is what it is. But I went to New York Forward, actually, because New York Forward has quite a bit of stuff too, if you want to know what's going on.
Okay. So we know more Wednesday, but as we know right now, July 6th, we can start if.
Can you guys email us some information, or are we gonna try to get together and talk? or-
We can, you know, one.
Yeah. Email us a summary of some sort, if we don't, by all
I
means.
mean, about 3
That's right.
Just
The
email us
thing
summary.
of it is, Greg, John, and, Spyhead. This is Spyhead, right, isn't it?
Emily?
Yes.
Mills.
Yeah,
Greg Mills. too.
Yeah.
Greg and John.
What's the site that girl's in?
Emily.
Emily
She's
Sack.
gonna be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us know more on that,
Yeah,
and
we
we
can let you
will,
know.
like we all know, it's been out there, it's on Facebook youth group all the time, asking people sign up, but even when this happened, we still had people sign up because we didn't know when things could change.
Cool.
Okay. Actually, we're already down to number 11. Rick.
The only thing I've got, one of my next door neighbors came by tonight and mentioned to me that there's another stop sign down, I don't know if it's kids doing it or what, on the bottom of Burnt Hill and Guideward Road, or,
Yep.
Norrisville Road. And it's gone, it's not there.
Yeah, that's the second one in the last 2 meetings.
Yes.
In the same spot?
No,
No, nope, nope.
they're not far from each
They're
other.
not far. They're only probably,
I was gonna tell Mike, so,
Yeah, that one's a pretty important one.
Yeah. you wanna stop down there, you're
so,
going.
right after the call,
Go through it.
make sure we give Mike a call.
Okay.
Right after the meeting, we'll give him a call. Yeah.
Really?
Anything else, Rick?
No.
Jim, good? Matt? I'm good. No? Craig?
No.
Bob?
Sorry. I guess,
Just
just to
gonna be a
say
short
that,
version or long?
well, just to say that our Zoom meeting went fairly well with the planning board, and we're gonna do a certainly do it again next month, and the zoning board will have the same. And a few bugs, but it went well, so
Good.
that's all I have.
Where are we at with restaurants, seating, everybody behaving?
Yeah, I've been around I went to Living Goods and did an inspection at Living Goods, the yearly inspection. I've been to, I went to the Mariner to eat on Saturday night, so I could see that firsthand.
Now, you're not getting paid for dinner, are you?
Oh, I actually paid, I sure did, so. And I went, I've been around to all the restaurants, and yeah, they are. And the health department is very good. The outdoor seating, Donna was, here at Green Acres, was involved. And then I was, spoke to her about the safety barriers, security barriers, but then now she's not, So, yeah, it's been good. I know at Living Goods, same thing. They did have some picnic tables. Now the picnic tables are removed. No, everything's going well.
And there's only family members riding in the golf carts together?
Yeah. I got a request to go to the Adirondack Resort, Adirondack Club. Oh, thank you. Because the health department said that they received complaints that there was two or more people riding the golf carts, and they weren't family members. And I went there and spoke to Michael, and I didn't observe anybody, and certainly I don't have all day to be hanging around there. And Mike said, no, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And what I saw was fine, so.
I love that rule.
Yep.
And 50% as of still right now, right? 50%?
Yeah, we're still at 50% until we jump to the next phase.
Perfect.
Who knows?
Good job, Bob.
Good. Thanks, Bob. Dave?
Nothing that wouldn't keep you here till midnight, so I'll be going off, yeah.
Dave, you're doing an excellent job, man.
Done a good job.
Took care of the Union Street deal. You got a call on it, you remember.
I get a lot of text messages, a lot of calls, and a lot of Facebook messages, Dave, and all I do, I don't even call them, I send them your number. That's that.
Yeah, I know you would.
Because that way, I'm not the middleman other than I'm passing them your phone number.
We showed up at the dog park, the only thing I wanted to say, he agreed with everything I had to say, except when your dog jumped on my tooth, I was distracted. On the ground, and went, it's distracted.
You do a great job at responding, I can tell you, and thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's hard for you, Brady, because you have your name on that sign for 2 months, and everybody thinks you're the one to call for everything.
And then, like I said, I don't even talk to people 90% of the time when it comes to Dave or Bob, because it's just too much, and I forward it to Bob all the time, I forward it to Dave all the time, and honestly, you guys are, yeah, if it's corny, it's the same way, it's the same way, but I can tell you, I can't ask for a better response from any of our employees.
You got a pretty good
when it comes to
team.
stuff. Thank you, guys. Courtney, you're always fun.
Yeah, I got good.
Oh, man.
Courtney, how are you coming out of the sewer line over there by the town garage? What's the latest?
Coming very slow. We do a section of pipe, I think, once a week.
You had,
Hope we can finish it this week.
You're
the
learning.
line to the town garage was,
Plugged too, yeah. No, we just had a lot going on. We rented that lift, 2 banners. It was a better deal to keep it for the month. So we kind of been utilizing that while we had it and paying for it. We painted we painted 3 sides of our garage. We haven't got to the back, but if anybody goes by our garage, we patched the pillars and painted it the best we could. So we've just been jumping to that job whenever we get a minute, but we're hoping to finish it this week. We got the manhole set, we got the floor poured in it, we got, unlike the pipe out, we just gotta go across the road. And then put everything into it, fill it in.
at some point you'll have to stop traffic again.
Yeah, we'll probably, I'm not sure if it's be Wednesday or Thursday this week, we'll probably just shut the road right now. It's usually not too much of a problem there.
No. What else?
That's it. Other than that, on Monday,
Oh, wow.
Monday we had a site visit with Jen and Greg from AES at the water plant for the dissolved aluminum, looking over the backwash pits to try to figure out what we're gonna do to correct that. And they also went down to look at Valport, because they're also working on we have an engineering planning grant for Valport. So they want to get a site visit there also, see the condition of that facility.
Perfect.
Okay, anything else? Courtney? Pam? The hot box, they talked about.
So Carol Werner from Police Pipes and Drums of Plattsburgh, they practiced at the gazebo before, and they wanted to know if they could practice there again, because people would stop when they're walking by or come sit and visit, and they're looking to try and get more people in it. And they wanted to know that they would keep their 6-foot distance, and would your board be willing to allow 10 to 12 people to use the gazebo, providing we use recommended social distancing guidelines, and they'd like to use it on Monday nights?
Who's gonna police all
That's gonna be a tough call.
12 people in that gazebo is 16 easy.
Well, if you tell them that they can't be in the gazebo, then they'll go on the lawn if you don't like. But
No, just that. I mean, who, you know, like,
I tell you,
If they're in the town parks and they're not doing the 6-foot distance, I mean, I walked by people on the trail the other day.
and the only problem is with so many people, and this might not even happen, but the problem is with so many people with nothing going on, if all of a sudden people start going, you know,
that's what I'm.
I don't know. Because last year was the first year, and as you know, there was a lot of interest, and they said, you know, with our Facebook after they did it a couple Mondays, is, you know, could we be told that, you know, when people start hearing it, can you start posting it? And you know, with social media this year,
What do
you
they
post
do?
something,
it's the police pipes and
it's
drums.
pipes and drums, it actually
bagpipes
sounds
and-
really good on Monday nights.
Right?
But the thing is, with social media,
Isn't the new mandate from the governor outside of groups of 150 or less is okay? If you're in
I
phase
think
three?
so, as long as it's outside.
How many?
150 or less if you're in phase
that was
3 outside.
25, and that was.
I thought that was graduation.
So I think outside celebrations, you can do that, right? That's why they can do that.
That's
Do
25.
they need that?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, we just, you need a response to go back, say, then you have to,
need power.
They have to have power, I believe.
Pipe and drums?
Do they have to have power? If they don't, I'm gonna
No.
suggest what you're saying.
No,
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
then, me and Rick talked about this last week. Even if we get to the phase where we think we could have a couple of summer concerts, which we said we wouldn't be opposed to, if we could get a couple. If they don't need power, me and Rick talked last week, how about Hayworth, Mason Park, down where the grass is gorgeous, it gets mowed, it's not wet. I'd rather have it there because it's a lot bigger space.
Wide road.
I mean, and we even talked about it, if we can go to a phase of where we are comfortable that if we get, like Matt was saying, I mean, it's definitely under 150 if it's concerts, but we could do something nice down there and have a lot more area for chairs and it's level, just supply them the power, you know, from,
Got a new generator's not hooked up yet.
They don't need power.
they do the concerts.
Oh, the concert.
You know, but they don't need power. If they don't need power, then I would suggest, that way we know there's enough space to stay away, and it'd be nice with the
I'm okay with
park.
that.
Yeah, the other one.
It's too congested, you know, and the thing is, with nobody having that kind of thing, as soon as you see it on Facebook, and someone says it's on Monday nights, you're gonna get it back. So, let's do that.
tell them yes, Hayworth Mason.
Hayworth, Mason, in the open field, I mean, the fields over there are gorgeous.
and we need to tell them that it's their responsibility to ensure that they comply with the most up-to-date CDC guidelines, and they've got to keep themselves up to date with that. I mean, CDC and New York State Department of Health guidelines.
We've got garbage cans down there.
Yeah.
They're gonna cook in the sun down
The
there.
dogs will be barking down there.
Should we have
What's later afternoon, it's usually at 7, right? Or is it
Yeah,
6?
it's-
We're taking on liability.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually
Yeah,
around
$1
seven.
back.
It was 7 last year, so.
Yes, because the meeting had just started.
Yep.
Would we have some?
Yeah,
Got some available to put out there when the group's meeting, it doesn't hurt.
What's that?
You got no leash on.
That,
Took that back one.
There's a couple different things.
Perfect.
Yeah, and like you said, if we got any extra money, or if we need any extra, because there's a couple of things from the county going around, if we could use extra. I sent a couple requests 2-3 weeks ago, and Diane told me a couple of things that nothing panned out for us. But if we could get a couple, you know, on the tables down there.
Dan, you could email back a response to that?
Hand sanitizer on that night,
You just
just
email
put
it
maybe
back
one
to
down
us.
there.
Yeah, we'll just pick them up at night.
Please.
You're gonna leave them there all night.
I could go down after, on a Monday, I mean, it's,
We'll probably be there in
I would be there honestly, if
Marching?
we not have a town board meeting.
I
And
have
if we
two
do have a
full
board
gallons,
meeting,
I have
we're
2
gonna
full
have-
gallons at the garage.
so. And when is that starting, Pam?
They wanted to do it, actually, they wanted to do it this Monday night, but next Monday night.
The next,
It's Monday,
July
Monday,
4th
today?
weekend? That's July 3rd.
No, 29,
No.
29.
29?
Today's the
It's
22nd.
next
Yeah,
Monday night.
Next Monday night would be the
29.
29th.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taking it Friday. Okay, 29.
Rock and roll.
So 29.
Light fit drum. The drummer boy gonna be there?
So we can put it, I mean, I can grab from recording or we can bring it down and then we'll just see how it goes. I will be there myself just to see how it goes. And I'll grab it after and bring it back here.
Like on Facebook, there, ain't even done
No, I'm not advertising. Not that kind of thing, just not just too many people. That'd be really,
it. You're just a magnet.
So John, leave that off. Okay, and then like I said, to move along with the other thing of, if by chance we feel, because I've talked to a couple bands, you know, Kevin Colgan plays in 2 bands, Kevin Conley, and them guys, Tom Longwear, and a couple other bands. If we can come up with something that we feel is safe enough to have a couple of concerts this summer, we could think about it, you know,
Sure.
so.
We got acoustic guitars.
Oh, we could, but, Courtney, do you think you could get a power across there enough from the,
There's minimal power in the building now.
yeah,
I think there's one circuit run across now.
10
Yeah, just let me know in advance, not, hey, we're doing a concert Monday night.
Usually they use the ones up above and the ones on the stairs too. Usually they utilize all of the
I don't know how much the
power
stuff
outlets.
draws, but I think there's only one circuit.
Who's
out
they?
there now.
Most
The
of
bands.
Oh.
the bands.
Yeah, well, they can play their acoustic set. Come to bring their unplugged, man, let them ride.
We could work on, I mean, we could think about this a little bit more, I mean, but, what do you think, I don't know.
Good idea, make it work.
I love it.
I got a question. Maybe we should look into, like, building some type of patio type stage down there that they could play on or play from.
We could, because I tell you,
If it was a little, we can't have a building, but we could have something, with a roof over it, with a patio that they could play from, and there's a lot more room down there for everybody.
And I can tell you the biggest complaint, that's the gazebo, I mean, I love it over there.
More
You
parking
got
too.
A lot more parking, a lot more seating,
Yeah.
and the sun is brutal in their face.
Yeah.
Every band said it is brutal in our face every year. And the thing is, we know we could put up a little pole barn, anything down there, because
Well,
we know
it
about
could-
flood
it would
zone and
be
stuff like
almost-
that, we know.
It would be almost like an amphitheater down there. When I was in college, I had something to do with the one that went in up at Fish Creek. And that worked out really nice, where you got the amphitheater and you got the people sitting out in front of you. We could do that down there.
Courtney, got a job for you.
Yeah, the thing about this.
Add that to my networking list.
We need some power.
It's starting to sound like
And
Bob.
Greg, they need some building skills.
But.
Got a generator right here, as I look up at.
That's
So we got
exactly
nice
what it is.
All over.
Waiting on nice edge.
Okay.
They just
John, Ryan,
mark all
Can
over.
we please note, it took that 40 minutes to,
Oh, yeah.
for Mr. Favreau to make a comment about Bob again. 40 minutes, a little slow there, Mr. Favreau. Come on, step to it.
No, I
Excuse me?
think it'd be,
Please note what?
anything we can do down there in a bigger park,
It took
especially
Mr.
moving
Favreau
forward,
40 minutes to
you know,
make a comment about Bob.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Down that hill, actually.
Yeah.
I did forget something.
Oh, God. Okay, we can
Yeah,
go
we
back
tie
to
into the.
Oh, we gotta keep this discussion
Yeah.
going, and also about, seeing about concerts too.
How he works about that.
You know, at least some, couple. Courtney again.
I did forget, the paper's out front. I did meet with Corey Trombley. I was supposed to have a price today. I have not got it yet.
Okay.
He's gonna give us a couple different options of us doing some of the work, but stamped, and with a couple different patterns and color.
Oh, cool.
I talked to Jason Fuller, they don't do it. So if anybody knows anybody else that does that, money only have the one price, if we use stamped and color.
Is it PJ doing it?
No.
Or Phil Stein? I know he does.
Asphalt, a lot of people do, some people do concrete, but asphalt's a whole different.
I understand that, but I think he is. He
He
did.
does Bob get a hold of him and get a hold of Courtney.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know anybody else other than Northern.
Perfect.
Thank you. I don't believe it's gonna be that expensive.
So I should have it for next meeting. Yeah, it's not much asphalt.
Mike supplies the asphalt.
That's for Courtney, thank you.
Thank you.
Pam, back to you on the other stuff.
Mike got the invoice for the town share of the KM International Model KM 4000 T hot box.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Chestertown was supposed to go in with the town of Osable in Peru. They didn't get their paperwork in on time. So right now, it's just between the town of Peru and Osable. But the only problem is the original, it was a little bit more because there's a light bar and tool rack and some kind of other light on it. But if they would have waited, that had to be ordered. The other one had to be ordered, but they would have missed the cutoff for the shared services.
Right.
And they didn't know if it'd be in time for them to actually use it this year. So they went with a little bit more expensive one, which turns out to be about $2,233 or so, more than what the original resolution was. So Mike said he had enough money in his equipment line to do it, but I believe we have to have a new resolution or just a
It'll have to
motion.
be.
New resolution.
Now, it's only gonna be agreement between two towns now?
Right now, Chesterfield still wants to do it, but they've got to wait till next year to get their money. So right now, it's just between the two.
To put in this year, town of Chesterfield doesn't have the money to put in.
They didn't put it in their budget in time, so they're expecting to do it next year.
So they would be out of the agreement at the beginning then?
They would be out of the agreement at the beginning,
Okay.
but wants to put their money in next year.
My question is, are they going to use it?
They have their accounts. Now Pam, is it 2,233 for us and each, or is it just between two towns now? Then Chesterfield put pitches in?
Then Chesterfield it would be a third,
Okay.
and they would pay
So
both
basically it's
Osable and us.
It's basically it's 4466 divided by two towns right now, and then Chesterfield has to pay their third plus the original agreement eventually.
Right. The original cost on the agenda was $25,766, which would have been $12,883 per town. And the new price is $28,233.20, which brings it up to $14,116.60 per town between Chesterfield, Osable and ours.
But they won't be using it this year either, town of
I
Chesterfield.
don't believe so. I mean,
I don't,
Well,
No.
they can if they don't, I mean,
I don't.
I don't know how that works exactly, but.
I know it works. No.
Yeah.
Don't have any
Just
sense.
be careful, they just let us borrow their mini excavator for 3 to 4 days. And we haven't paid anything for it.
Yeah, well, you're not on the highway.
I mean, Mike could use it if Mike is doing it, I
Maybe.
guess, because of shared services originally probably, but.
Yeah, it's nice to work together.
So do we have to rescind this original
We should do another
resolution?
resolution to add that new
Okay,
cost. The resolution basically say based on unexpected, whatever,
Courtney, how many
process,
times
that would
have
be
you
an
been
additional
using that?
$2,300 to be the resolution,
He
he
did
could
twice
add that amount of money.
this year.
Well, Birmingham's resolution, and Mike says he's got that in a line item.
He used Blackbrook
Okay.
last year.
Who's?
Blackbrook.
We have to have it
Okay.
tonight?
No,
Okay.
They had to.
No.
I think 4 times in the last few
It
years.
was next.
just got it, this.
And we're still, Sable is still
We need
holds possession. We had an issue with insurance in it, right?
Who's ever-
It
who's
will
ever
be,
told?
it
Who's
is,
ever towing it?
Yeah.
We found out.
they'll be insuring it.
It's shared services.
Two entities.
Shared services, just like you want
Yeah,
before.
just us and
We don't-
town of
we don't own
Sable.
them, We're invited to. It's just, whoever's towing it, his insurance covers it,
Yeah.
regardless who owns it. That's what we found out last year when we asked
Yeah.
the questions to the insurance.
And it's staying at,
Just staying down there.
yeah, it's being housed at their property.
Question, guys. Those guys, water and sewer has been using their excavator, no charge to us. When, how many times we had it now? Twice, 3 times?
Twice this year.
Twice
I
this
think
year.
third, twice this year. Before that, we.
Shared services.
Borrowed Blackbrook.
I realize, we don't have any money in their excavator. If they want to buy into this thing, which they were supposed to, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. I feel that in good faith, if they're gonna buy into it anyway, we should let them use it.
It's an indestructible machine, all it does is heat asphalt, I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna break it or anything like that. I think in good faith, I agree with you.
If they're letting us use their excavator and we need one back, so,
That's worth more than that.
yeah.
And the excavator has some work there, some stones there. It's a tough one.
Chesterfield was one.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
borrowed
I mean-
twice this year.
So,
I mean, we're gonna do shared services.
Yeah.
Just we just wanna make sure
yeah,
that they get it in their budget next year,
Yeah,
you know, like we agreed upon.
It's important to work together as a
Yeah.
town, so you
Yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
can't see a problem with that, right?
Yeah, fail on that, alrighty deal.
That'd be up to Mike's discretion.
Yep. Diane,
No, Paul's good, thank you.
okay. One thing I do have, and it's an important thing coming up, as we all know, Tom, our IT guy, is going to be gone the end of this month, June 30th. We had a meeting with PrimeLink, had a good meeting, a very good meeting. They're coming up with numbers and stuff like that. We're going to have a meeting with Twin State, hopefully soon.
I said, you want it after 4:30, and he offered Wednesday or Thursday of this week.
Okay, so let's go Wednesday. Let's go Wednesday, because I have another meeting with PrimeLink on Thursday.
And we want Tom there, right?
Yeah, we want Tom there for Wednesday meeting. Yes. So, as we know, we're gonna lose them. They're gonna come up with someone between both the you know, the people that do the IT, this, you know, a company. I talked to both of them. They said hopefully within 2 to 3 weeks, they will have something, you know, in, you know, what they will offer. I think basically they're gonna offer us a contract where they're by the hour, and then they're gonna offer us something to buy into that, you know, it's a per year thing.
Sure, retainment.
Yes, in the meantime, as we all know, when things went down and stuff like that, we still haven't recovered data that we still need. Obviously, we know with the gas and the different things that and there's a lot of other programs that we're still missing, and each department has something or a little bit more. My suggestion is, talking to a couple of the people from PrimeLink and another internet company, is we get somebody in the interim for 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe a month, to help us out to recover. I know Pam doesn't want to be part of this, because of the person that's been mentioned was her son. He works for CBP, he did, and he worked for E-Town Hospital now. I asked Pam if she would talk to him at least to see if he would be agreement if we can come up with, you know, short term for somebody, because once Tom's gone on the 30th, we have no one to cover, and if something happens, we're dead in the water without a contract with one of these companies. So, what are your feelings if we got somebody like Jay? Pam, I asked her before the meeting because I didn't know if he would, you know, if his contract with the two hospitals or one hospital that he works with would allow him to do it. He said he would after I talked to Pam, but he would be $75 an hour.
You gotta have.
Well, we have to, but.
Yeah, but you have, no, you have to. We
Yeah,
have stuff
I know.
going on all the time.
I-
If we have something going on that's like crazy, I mean, you gotta have somebody in the interim. I don't think, I had called Tom today, he didn't call me back, but
I know.
but
And I know Courtney still has stuff with printers and scanners not working, that's why I don't wanna do it, but like I said, we have someone that was willing to do it for a short term, we could put 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I would prefer a month just because we wanna ensure things come together, and we could set a limit of hours, you know, unless he comes back to us. What are you guys feeling about
I
that?
think we should start immediately, because I don't think Tom's gonna do anything for this following week. And still, I know he's not to retire till the 30th, but he hasn't been trying anything out and putting any more hours in. To your knowledge?
The last time we had a meeting was with Prime Link, and that was over a week ago. And Brian, was Brian? Brian at Prime Link told him to try a couple of different things and to see how it worked, and he was gonna get back to us. We haven't heard anything about
Yeah.
any recovery. At least I have not. And he hasn't called me or texted me. I did, like I said, I talked to a couple of people. They brought up Jay's name. Pam didn't bring it up to me. They brought it up, said he could look into that. He's very well aware of was it malware or VMware and different things.
Right.
But we know, you know, it is Pam's son, but same time, I said, hey, he's an IT person, he likes that we're grabbing, you know, like my wife, you know, or somebody, you know what I'm saying. It's someone that works at a hospital for years.
When he do come in like after his job?
Yeah, currently he's a network specialist at Elizabethtown Hospital,
Yeah.
so it would have to be after 5
Right.
when he could come in, because
Let's start immediately. I'd like to I'd make a proposal for 3 weeks.
Is it our hope that he can retrieve some of this data?
Yes.
yeah, he's hoping, he's not positive from what I've told him and
Now,
what
what
he knows
about,
about VMware.
if-
Unless the data's corrupt, and then we're out of
and
luck.
then if you have issues according to yourself, he could come in, just set it up so he could come in 4 or 5, after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need somebody.
Some things are,
Yeah, so what do you need? What do you want for a stipulation on pay or something? $75 an hour?
I would say, he would have to draw us up a contract, you know, while we could pre-approve it. Would we have to do that or short term, or what? Could we just approve someone? How does that work?
what's the dollar?
If it's under $10,000, it's
Oh, it'd be,
Yeah,
it'd be way.
set an hourly rate you want to pay, and I just have to invoice you monthly for that.
Is there any issue with nepotism?
That's every time all over. I mean, not really, only because we've been through, just since I've been here, 4 or 5 IT people, it's always been a pain.
And we're the one hiring them, she's not.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's somebody that can do the job and do it well. We keep going through these people, so it's not like there's 1,000 people throwing us resumes and we're picking Cam's son. I mean, we're kind of reaching out for
And
somebody.
like I said, it wasn't Pam that mentioned
Yeah,
him, I had IT people mention him,
not
so.
beat it in the bush, just approve it.
He messes up, can you hold Pam accountable?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why Pam didn't want to be involved with it,
I'm all for it.
but I got her involved myself, so.
Maybe he can teach her how to email
So-
attachment.
Did you want to go for,
Slippery
do you
fingers.
want to go for 3 weeks, or do you want to say the month of July if needed, if we don't sign a contract before?
I would say it's easier to do it through the end of the calendar month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the month of July.
I went through the month of July at the rate of whatever you want per hour, and I would invoice you by the end of the month.
Okay.
we put it till a contract is signed? Yeah, until.
Or you can make a resolution now that you can extend this in 1 month increments as needed, if you want to do that, make that part of the resolution. If he's going to do it that way.
And the other thing
Or
is,
cancel
Pam,
it at any time?
It would go through the end of July unless the town extends it. You
Okay,
know,
what happens if we sign up with,
Prime Link.
Prime or something in
2
the
weeks
middle of
from now.
July?
Okay, I mean, he's gonna invoice you based on the work you asked him to do.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
he's not, it's not like he's thinking, I'm gonna get 10 hours a week regardless, it's just an as needed ad hoc basis.
Good.
And he is gonna try to recover what we have lost, which is very, very important, as we all know, what we're missing right now.
Let's do it. Write it up, Penny.
Pam, the only stipulation I would put in there is that he comes back to us after 15, 20 hours, and then just lets us know. That way we kind of have like a
Progress?
progress kind of thing,
Progress
20 hours, each 20 hours. But we don't have to approve it, but we
Just so you know
want
where
to
you're
know where we're
You just like
at
to-
after 20 hours.
Rather than get a bill
Yeah,
for
he may,
Okay.
50 hours.
he may say it's coming, or he may say he's not gonna get it.
Okay. So, with that stipulation,
That's what it says.
75 hours an hour for
That's
the
what
month
Tom
of
says
July.
last time.
When he's got 20 hours into it, please let us know, for we at least know where we are, where we stand.
Progress report.
And a progress report of what he's recovered or if he cannot recover. So with that being said, I need
I'll make that motion.
Mel made the motion, second by Jim Douglas.
I'll be his assistant. I only charge 65 bucks an
Any
hour.
more discussion?
So, ready, passwords, do we,
Oh, yeah, Tom's gonna give us
okay,
everything.
Tom, okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Tom's a good guy, he's never gonna have, we're never gonna run into that.
No, yeah, no, but,
Ever.
okay, I understand.
Yep, absolutely. So with that being said, I got the motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
5 ayes. So Pam, have him start working and see if he can recover any of the stuff. Have him get a hold of Tom, please, to talk to Tom. And that way, you know, I know what you know from Tom, but let Tom explain to him, or even have Tom come over here one night, because we got Tom until the end of the month.
So we just approved him from July 1st. You want to approve him from June 22nd, like they
I
said?
Just
thought you get it from now to the end of July.
Oh, now to the end of July?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually he's got to get information before that. Okay.
So the 23rd to the end of July.
3rd June,
Effective immediately.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our fingers crossed.
Yes. Okay, with that being said,
That'd be awesome if you fix it.
number 12, public comments on agenda items only.
I just wanted to ask about the asphalt. Is that black you're talking out there, or you said something about colored or what?
Well, yeah, we're gonna get a price on stamping it, a pattern into it. So it'll be
Okay.
black road asphalt with a pattern stamped into it, and then you can get less color sprayed on it.
Oh, okay, because as I was walking in tonight, I was thinking, God, that brick looks pretty nice.
Yeah,
Black asphalt might be kind of ugly out there. I'm not sure. I don't ever claim to be a designer.
I mean, the only nice thing.
The building looks so nice now, I'd hate to see it look worse.
When it's stamped, it doesn't look like asphalt. It looks more like a cobblestone black.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can paint it different colors.
And it's gonna
according
be,
to
it
same.
can be
Once
painted.
it's stamped.
Okay.
My cement is stamped.
Or
I mean,
It's like
there's pros
cobblestone.
and cons to both. The one nice thing with the black is it traps the sun in the winter, it breaks the ice up sooner. And when you color it, once you start coloring it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an added expense down the road. You're gonna have to keep doing it, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got, I guess.
That's it. Okay. Covered it up. Okay, I need okay, I need a motion, discussion, on paying the bills.
Motion by Bruno.
Motion by Bruno,
Second.
second by Jim Douglas. Resolution, Diane.
A resolution authorizing the post-audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices to the town. Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in May 2020. From Town of Peru, June 2020. From Town of Peru in June 2020, 202000596 through and including 2020067, abstract dated 6/22/2020, for the dollar amount totaling $124,809.30. Of that, $14,871.32 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid, and $109,937.98 is remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further reserved, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, number 14, I need a motion and a second to adjourn to executive session. Craig asked to put this on there, for personnel.
I'm sorry, did I miss a motion?
No,
Okay.
I need a motion and a second. Craig asked to put this on there for personnel.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mel made the motion, Rick second. All in favor? Aye. We will adjourn. There will be no action taken when we come out.
That might not necessarily be true.
Okay. So there could be action when we come out.
Possible action?
Possible action, Craig says.